Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Crypto Trading with Crypto Trader and CryptoTraders Room, of course, the only place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Andreas, the first one on here. Good morning, buddy. I know you said you're going to be kind of in and out, but thank you for joining, bud. Let's see who else we got in this room. Don't be shy. Say what's up. And if you're a new-time viewer, I'm glad you found us. It's a pleasure to have you. And don't forget to click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification. Stay connected with us on Steam, at Twitter, as well as Facebook. Sky Tech. Hope all is well in Cali, bud. Hope it's warm, unlike where I am. It's getting cold. It's wintertime, unfortunately. Bitcoin Buddha. What is up? Bitcoin to the moon. Man, it's I don't know, man. All I could do is shake my head and just think, yesterday, to me, yesterday was January 1st, basically, that this thing was at 1,000 and then it dropped to like $880. But yeah, we're going to look at the overall chart because it really should bring a smile to anybody that is holding BTC and has, withstood all the punches, that BTC was taken from China. And I mean, BTC took a lot of punches from China and they really couldn't keep it down whatsoever. And I don't think really there's anything that's going to keep it down. The only thing that's going to keep it down is really the community, the people that are backing it. I made a bet with a buddy of mine last night. I don't know if he's on here today, Scott M. But yeah, I got a case of Blue Moon on the line. Basically, within 10 years, that would take us right up to 2028. That BTC will and should be at $500,000, 10 years. So I'm confident that I will be winning a case of a Blue Moon and of course with a gallon of OJ to go with it. But yeah, I mean, 10 years, 500,000, I think it's feasible considering the moves that it's making, up over 600% within a very short period of time. It's remarkable. It really is. And I've never seen anything like it whatsoever. This isn't the norm for me. This might be the norm for a lot of people that are just currently getting into this cryptocurrency market. But, for me and for a lot of other people that have been trading, this is not normal. If you've seen anything like this, I mean, please let me know because I personally have not, making these type of moves unless they're pump and dump, something selling for a penny and then it goes up to $1 and then they crash it back down. I've seen that happen before. But for something to really, take a lot of punches and, have a nice correction and then make it right back up as though nothing happened, it's impressive. And, when I talk about 10 years, $500,000 price point, we gotta really remember that it is going to have dips. It's going to have major corrections. It's going to have minor corrections within that time frame. And, I don't think that should really scare anybody. And I think BTC has kind of shown us, what she's capable of doing. She's capable of dropping heavily. She's capable of coming back up with a vengeance. And I mean, I like that. And all you guys should like that. Ivan, good morning, buddy. K Bossless, welcome. The Warpler, welcome. Mark Jackson, new name on here. That's awesome. Yes, the live stream has started, if that's what you mean. But let's see. I'm trying to answer a couple questions before we really start, looking at this market. By the coming pullback. Yeah, we'll take a look at possible pullbacks, areas where BTC could pull back to, and that's a big if. But I told my buddy, I was like, I don't know if we'll see 3,000 again. I have that in the back of my head that 3,000 might be a long way from now. I mean, especially, she basically almost hit $6,000. Almost, very close to it. We might as well say she hit $6,000. So for it to get to 3,000, 50% retracement, can it do it? I mean, if FUD is being spread, yes. And if people panic, yes. But I hope people realize, what BTC is capable of doing. And she's proven it to us. But I think, new people coming onto this market, they might not be accustomed to it and they might panic and sell. But, we'll see. Yes, exactly. I mean, alts are crying. They're crying. OMG's crying for me. I'm crying for OMG. Only Ethereum Litecoin seem to be doing anything this morning. Yeah, so it's really the top dogs. And those are the top dogs, to be honest with you. BTC, LTC, and Ethereum. And I don't think, anything can really stop them. Yes, they'll have corrections and whatnot. But, You know, that's not something we should really be concerned about if we have a long-term outlook on this. SkyTech, yeah, dude, I was watching the news last night and I really don't get a chance to catch up on the news, but yeah, you know, 60 miles away from you, that's a little scary, man. And you know, I hope nobody's lost their, you know, their life, their house, you know, their belongings. But yeah, dude, yeah, you know, my prayers and thoughts go out to anybody in Cali. But yeah, stay safe, SkyTech. Definitely stay safe. What's it going to be when China re-enters the market? Oh, dude. I mean, can we see another 100% gainer? It's a possibility on BTC. It's a possibility. 10 years could be a million. Yeah, you know what? I told my other buddy, I was like, you know, 13 years, it could be a million. But the bet is for 10 years, 500,000. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It could be a million. But yeah, only time will tell. And I think, you know, as long as she has the backing of the community, the backing of the miners, the backing of the developers, then yes, it's attainable. It really is. When do you think the values of I can't even talk this morning. Derivatives market 1 million Bitcoin wouldn't be that crazy. No, I don't think it would. I really don't think it would. And that would put, you know, basically one Satoshi at 1 cent. That would be $1 million Bitcoin. Bossless, thank you so much for watching me at work. And yeah, there's a lot of you guys that, you know, will stream this at work, like Andreas. So thank you so much. It is a Bitcoin rush, like the gold rush and the oil rush. Mona, I don't know about Mona, but I mean, you know, if I have time, we can definitely take a look at it. Cheap alt on Poloniex. I'd have to really take a look at Poloniex and see, you know, I mean, stick, you know, with something that's in the top 20, to be honest with you. If you are going to be buying an alt, definitely the top 20, and exclude some of the shady ones. And you probably know which ones those are. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for OMG. I'm hoping she makes a comeback, but, you know, to be honest with you, I'm probably going to have to sell it. Probably going to have to sell it at a, hopefully, you know, at a minimal loss. And I will probably get rid of Sand as well, too, and put those to work into something else that I have in mind. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at, and anybody new, welcome, by the way, if I didn't mention your name, crypto currently, welcome. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, like I said, you know, if you're a new time viewer, definitely, you know, subscribe, become a regular. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market cap. Of course, currently the overall market cap is 172 billion, 172.7 billion, let's just say. So she's really not that far away from its all-time high. All-time high was 177.4 billion. So in actuality, you know, less than 5 billion, you know, from its all-time high, and she can get there. She can get there. You know, I firmly believe that this market really is a 1 trillion market cap. And, you know, I did find something. Let me share it with you guys real quick. And it's kind of a little outdated. So, you know, I didn't find a newer version of this, but let me go ahead and share this with you guys. Basically, you know, putting the world's money into perspective. So this is outdated, of course, because, you know, it has BTC at 41 billion. And of course, she's definitely not at 41 billion anymore. So I'm looking forward to her hitting that $100 billion mark. Larry Page, 41 billion. I'm sure he's worth a lot more than that. Of course, Bill Gates is not worth $86 billion anymore. He's worth a lot more. But, you know, I firmly believe that, you know, she could surpass the total amount of US dollar in circulation, total US dollar in circulation at that time. I don't know what it is now because the government loves to print money left and right as though it's, you know, leaves growing on trees. But 1.5 billion, I'm sorry, $1.5 trillion is what it has as the USD in circulation. And there's no date stamp or time stamp on this, so it's kind of hard for me to determine exactly, you know, when this really came out. But I strongly believe that, you know, the overall market cap can get to that 1.5 trillion market cap. And if she does get to that 1.5 trillion market cap, you know, she could easily surpass gold market cap. And then really, you know, after that, the sky's the limit. It really is. So I thought I would share that with you guys. But yeah, it's a little outdated. But yeah, you know, I can definitely see that 1.5 trillion, you know, hitting. I don't know when, but, you know, over time it'll hit. So, you know, not too far away from its all-time high. So, which is a great thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at BTC. So BTC is up 10%, Ethereum is up 10%, and I think Litecoin is up about 12%. So that's huge. That is huge. All right, BTC, and this is on Bitfinex. So on Bitfinex, let's see, this is a 1 minute chart, so it's very granular. Let's go ahead and zoom out of this. 5,920 bucks. You know, that's basically 6,000. Let's just say 6,000. Yeah, just to make the math easy. But go ahead, let me go ahead and zoom out of this to a 1 hour chart. Maybe a little further than 1 hour. All right, so September 15th. Today is almost October 15th. Or is it October 15th today? I'm losing my time. Today's October 13th. Friday the 13th. Wow, okay. I didn't realize that. But you know, within a month, it's up 100%. I don't even know what to say, guys, to be honest with you. I really don't, except that BTC is solid. It will continue to be solid. We'll have these crazy dips, some major, some minor, but there is really nothing that's going to slow BTC down, not whatsoever. And we'll go ahead and just, for shits and giggles, take a look at the 1 day chart of where this thing has been, you know, and we'll basically look at 2017. You know, the low that it ever touched on 2017 was when all that, you know, really was that 735 bucks. And that was right around the time where the ETF was denied. You know, the Winklevoss twins trying to create their ETF, ticker symbol coin, and that was declined. And I remember this dip, and I was waiting for like 700 bucks, you know, and I thought, you know, if she crossed 700, there's a possibility 600, and I would have, you know, I was looking to buy at least 10, I think it was at that time. But to be honest with you, you know, I probably wouldn't have held it because I wouldn't have known that it would have made it all the way up to $6,000. Not at all. But, you know, so looking at this, you know, from basically from that bottom that it hit, let's just say that bottom was 1,000 just to make the math easy, but the percentage is going to be a lot higher. I mean, we're looking at a 6x return, 600% return in BTC within a very short period of time, which is just unheard of. You know, we see these dips that are happening, but you know what? They're very minimal, to be honest with you. If you're looking at this on an overall chart, very minimal dips. But at that time, I mean, they were huge dips to us, you know, when we were actually, you know, watching this like a hawk and watching this thing dip from, you know, 3,000 all the way down to 1826, or watching it dip from, you know, almost 5,000 all the way down to 3,000. I mean, you know, at that time, those are huge. But looking at this on an overall chart, you know, I mean, we could do a 3-day chart, and it would look like, you know, these dips never happened at all, as though they didn't exist. You know, it was like basically within a blink of an eye, it was back up to where it was. So this move is remarkable. It definitely is remarkable. And I don't know, all I could do is really shake my head. You know, that's really all that I could do. And really understand that BTC has the ability now, you know, from, you know, knowing what I know. And I wish I, you know, knew what I know now back in the day, or at least, you know, had a crystal ball to kind of go into the future. But yeah, anybody that was holding this, man, I give you guys a virtual high five, because, you know, you had those strong hands. I don't know if Daniel's on here, but yeah, you guys definitely had those strong hands to withstand all the FUD and all the punches that was just being spread. But yeah, healthy, very healthy on a long-term outlook, even though we have these crazy dips that are happening, you know, nothing to be concerned about, to be honest with you. But let's go ahead and get a little granular, and we'll take a look at, you know, support and resistance. Really, I mean, the resistance, of course, which is more than likely going to blow through that resistance as though nothing ever happened. But, you know, 59.20 is the high. So could it hit 59.20 and just kind of teeter-totter before really taking off? Huge possibility. Huge possibility. And, you know, that 5,000 was a level that I had plotted out where, you know, it was a psychological level to where I expected traders to kind of start taking profits. But if we're really looking at this chart, and this is a 30-minute chart, that 5,000 didn't slow it down at all. So this is a confirmed breakout right here. You know, it didn't get to that 5,000 and then kind of hover right in that range and then maybe break down a little bit to kind of get a running start. It blew through it as though that 5,000 was nothing. You know, and this is just a huge break going from 4,921 all the way to 5,219. I mean, that's just huge. That is huge. And these are the type of, confirmed breakouts that you're looking for on any type of cryptocurrencies, when you're looking at the charts, when you plot out your support and resistance to see, what is it going to break the strong resistance, the psychological resistance. And if it breaks out, like it has broken out with these candlesticks, that's a confirmed breakout there. So, that's going to be the resistance there, the 59.20. Other resistance is going to be kind of, where she, had a hard time breaking out. And it's really going to be the current level that she's at. But to be honest with you, it's not a major resistance whatsoever. People are still buying up BTC to take advantage of Bitcoin Gold. They're still buying it up, and they will probably continue to buy it up. I would say probably until, November, when SegWit2x hits. I don't know what's going to happen, when SegWit2x hits, but there's a possibility, we could get a little bit of a downtrend, but it's not going to be too much, to be honest with you. It won't be too much at all. Second area of resistance. Second area of support. We're looking at a little over 5,000. Now that 5,000 is still going to be, so as before the 4,000 was a psychological level, and I've said it, if she breaks down below $4,000, it is going to be a short-term bearish movement. If she couldn't break out above that 4,000, or I'm sorry, if she breaks below that 4,000. But she maintained that 4,000, and she maintained it very well. Let me see if I can get to that part of the chart. And I probably got to do a 1 hour. So she never touched that 4,000. She got to 4,024 bucks and 40 cents. That was a very psychological level. And that's the time that I said, it's a psychological level. If traders are not going to support it above that $4,000 level and she cracks through it, it's short-term bearish. But of course, she completely, didn't break through it. She maintained it. And, going from, let's just say 4,000, let's just say that, 40, 20, 40, 40 was 4,000, going from 4,000 to 6,000, 50% gainer within a very short period of time, 2 weeks, basically. Within 2 weeks, gaining 50%. And if this type of move, still continues to happen where, she's going to have dips, but then she's regaining that within a very short period of time, going up 50%, 10 years, 500,000 is easily attainable, or high, or even more than that, to be honest with you. Anywhere from 500,000 to $1 million is attainable. There's nothing that's going to slow this thing down, unless the community kind of gives up on it. But, BTC is a king of the crop, and I don't think anybody's going to be giving up on BTC whatsoever. All right, so let me get a little more granular and plot out other resistance and support. But it's there really it's not going to have too much of a resistance. BTC will continue to break all barriers. So 5,000 is still going to be a psychological level, but we are going to have that 5,500 and 50 bucks, something to that extent, is going to be another area of support that it's going to have. And of course, if she breaks through that support, and that's a big if, you do have other areas of support, and that other area of support is going to be right around the 5,400. So really from the 5,550 to the 5,400, it's not that much. And then after that, we're really looking at right at this level here, which is 5,275 bucks. But just keep in mind, 5,000 is still going to be a psychological level, considering, she broke out of it. So if she does pull back, and that's a big if, if she does have a major correction, then, that 5,000 should hold, unless selling intensifies and people are just completely dumping and there's more crazy FUD that's being spread. I think I read, the headline that Jamie Dimon was not going to talk about Bitcoin anymore. So Jamie Dimon has been completely proven wrong. And, I don't think he wants to be proven wrong again. So that's why he came out and said, I'm not going to be talking about Bitcoin again. And I think he knows that he made a mistake by saying that, Bitcoin was basically dead and it was FUD and there was no, inherent value to it, and whatever else he was trying to say to kind of spread that FUD to get the price to drop, and people believed in it and got that to drop. But yeah, 5,000 is still going to be a very good psychological level. So, and I'm going to get to the comments, and I do apologize if I'm missing any of the comments, and I probably won't be able to get to all the comments since I'm not looking at them right now. But let's go ahead and I need to probably get out of this and zoom out. Let's go ahead and look at our I'm going to get rid of everything that's drawn out on here. Considering, you know, she's breaking all new time highs. I might as well start out with a clean chart. But yeah, let's go ahead and possibly look to see, you know, what is a retracement going to look like if she does retrace based on Fibonacci. And I'm going to have to zoom out of here completely and really look at the one-day chart for this. And really, we're only going to take it to January 2014. I'm sorry, 2014. 2017. You know, we're going to take it down to that $735, which was the kind of the low that she set for the year of 2017, and that was only on Bifinix. So anything else that you're probably looking at, you know, could have a different price point. All right, so let's see. Wow. So 61.8 would put it right around 3,000, you know, let's just say 4,000, you know, if she does retrace to it. So 61.8 right at 4,000, 50% right at 3,300, and 30.2% retracement right at 2,715. I'm sorry. Actually, I don't know what I was thinking. I did that completely wrong. All right. So a lot of traders, you know, they will probably play, you know, anywhere between the 38.50 to 61% retracement. So if this thing really heavily drops, which I don't know if I can see that happening anytime soon, but 61.8 retracement puts it, you know, right at $2,691. And she could easily get there, you know, if there's enough FUD that's being spread. And that really 21, you know, the 61.8 retracement on the 1-day candlestick price action movement. Now I am looking at a very larger time frame, but that puts it right at the 200-day moving average. You know, if she has a crazy correction, and you know, it has to be a crazy correction for it to get to that level. Couldn't break below that. I mean, anything is possible, especially, you know, with people trying to keep Bitcoin down, you know, FUD being spread because they want to buy in cheap, and FUD will be spread. And you guys just have to really take it with a grain of salt and really think about why somebody's saying what they're saying. But yeah, that 200-day moving average is set right, you know, above our 61.8 retracement. And that's basically sitting right at, just to get the exact number for it, about $2,800. That's where that 61.8, you know, or the 200-day moving average is currently sitting at. But let me see what you guys are saying. Try to be a little interactive, answer as many questions as I can. Not too many comments, so I can get to all of them then. Alasdair Boyd, welcome. So you've noticed a lot of money being traded on Chinese exchanges and CNY today, and LTC in particular. Did you miss something? Thought they were out for now. I don't think they're completely out, you know, and if they were out, you know, they would be kind of losing out, to be honest with you. So, you know, I mean, there was an article, I really didn't get a chance to read into it, but, you know, saying that, you know, China might reverse the ban, you know, so I don't know if they've really come out and reversed the ban yet, or what's really going on with exchanges. But, you know, if you guys know, definitely let me know. But I haven't really had a chance to kind of, you know, sit back and kind of research the news. But, you know, South Korea is definitely contributing a lot to the volume. A lot of fuss for this low value altcoin called Chainlink. I have not looked at Chainlink. I don't know what Chainlink is doing. Yeah, 43 cents. I think it was, last time I looked at it, it was hovering right in that range of, in the 40s. So I don't know what the hype is, but the price action definitely doesn't represent the hype currently at the moment. At least not that I see. You're high on Bitcoin. As long as you're not high on chain coin. David, good morning. Welcome, buddy. You nearly had a heart attack because Bittrex glitched on you. Yeah, there's something shady going on with Bittrex, to be honest with you. I was kind of disappointed to see, a cryptocurrency that I've traded in the past, that they were delisting it. And I was like, why would they delist this thing? It's, the upside move on this thing has been tremendous. It's not one of those shit coins, that they have that's been, volume is nothing, like 1 BTC in volume. But, Uno Bantanium, for some apparent reason, they're delisting this thing on the 20th. And this thing dropped heavily. I mean, this thing was at like $140, and they dropped it down to $44. I mean, that's pure manipulation. Out of all the cryptocurrencies that they have, they delist something that has a tremendous upside, and it had a tremendous upside. So if we really look at this on the one-day chart, and I mean, I bought this thing in April at like, 391,000 Satoshis, and I was selling at 0.01. Little did I know that, she'd be making this crazy move. I mean, this is a solid move to the upside. This isn't something, that people are dumping. And the total supply on this is only 250,000. But yeah, I bought this thing back in April, and I mean, I kind of sold it a little too early, way too early, and I should have kept a little bit. But yeah, for them to be delisting, a cryptocurrency like this, yeah, it's just, it's not right. It's shady, whatever they're doing. I don't know if they're buying it up and then maybe changing their mind, but yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, Bittrex is shady, and I don't think I would use them, to be honest with you. Interesting. So they indicated that you sold 64 of your OMGs at a probably low price. And hopefully that's not the case now. Like you said, it was a glitch. So yeah, I would be careful. I mean, exchanges are shady. It doesn't matter what exchange you're dealing with. They are shady. So okay. So yeah, a little glitch then. But yeah, actually, talking about a glitch, or I don't know if it's a glitch or not, and talking about exchanges that are shady, if anybody's using GDAX and you have a lowball offer in the book, a lot of people will put a lowball offer in and kind of forget about it. I've had a lowball offer and I forgot about it twice, that they went ahead and canceled my limit buy order. Twice they did it. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why are they canceling my limit buy order? I can see if they were doing a maintenance and they set out an announcement saying, we're doing a maintenance, all buy orders are going to be canceled. Go ahead and put them back in once the maintenance is done. But no, I didn't hear anything about it. I mean, if I didn't look at GDAX to see if my order was still in the book, I wouldn't have known. And, if it would have gotten to my price, I would have been happy. I would have been like, all right, I got an order in. But then I would look at it and be like, whoa, what happened to my order? It's gone. But yeah, Coinbase is canceling people's limit buy orders, which I think is very, very shady. And I mean, there's a lot of people that are not traders, but they want to take advantage of a major dip that does happen, and they'll go ahead and put in low ball offers and kind of set it and forget it in hopes that it gets there. And eventually, it might get there, and that order is being canceled, without the actual person canceling it themselves. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. DGB. Oh, I don't know about DGB, buddy. 165 Satoshis. Is that correct? Honestly, man, stick to the top 20. That's what I would stick to. I mean, they could come out anytime and say, we're going to delist this. And this would probably go to like 1 Satoshi. This would drop heavily. Well, maybe not 1 Satoshi, but, it would definitely get to the 50 Satoshi range. easily. And then, if you buy into it at, 116 Satoshis at a penny, now you're down to less than a half a penny. So I don't know about DGB, man. I would stick to the solid cryptocurrencies, honestly. I wouldn't trade anything else. Really stick to the top 10, or if you knew, just stick to the top 3, and you know what those top 3 are. Those are the ones that are big today. Yeah, I wouldn't buy DGB. Market dominance in crash. I don't know what you mean, currently. You mean market dominance in cash, maybe? I don't know if we'll see a crash. I mean, it could happen, but right now with people trying to take advantage of Bitcoin Cash, or I'm sorry, Bitcoin Gold, and then the 2x fork, I don't think BTC is going to have a major crash. It's going to have a correction, of course. I mean, nothing just keeps going up and up and up and up without having a correction and without really people taking profits. But yeah, I don't know about a crash. Yeah, bossless. Don't forget to add Bitcoin on that. Today's all about Litecoin, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, and we're going to take a look at Ethereum. Okay, not crash, typo. All right, good. Yeah, I know, and I had an idea you didn't mean crash. But yeah, this market is crazy. It is crazy, and those 3 will still continue to dominate. Unless we have something crazy, something major happening. Yeah, the last couple of days, I mean, we've seen Bitcoin just take off, and everything was bleeding. I mean, even even Litecoin and Ethereum was bleeding. They were bleeding. Now the tide hasn't really turned, but they're following suit of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is really not dumping or tanking, but I think people are realizing how undervalued Litecoin and Ethereum were at that current price. I mean, the $305 range, $300 range. Litecoin was just a little over $50, and she went up 20% to $60 basically. Man, I don't use Elliott Wave, but I mean, be careful what other YouTubers are saying. To be honest with you, there's a motive for them saying what they're saying. Basically, I mean, 6,000, we already hit it. We were a couple bucks off from that 6,000. So to go down to 2,000, I mean, that not anytime soon. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Could it happen later on with FUD being spread and regulations and governments banning Bitcoin just to get it to tank so that they could buy in more? Yeah, if that happens, then that 60% retracement, of $2,800 is a possibility. I would say in the very short period of time that 10,000 could be attainable. And the reason why I say that is because she has proven to us that she can move 50%, 100%. I mean, from this, let's just say she's at 6,000 now. 50% increase for BTC is nothing, but 50% is 3,000. That would put it at 9,000. So I would say in the short term, 10,000 could be attainable, but please, you guys got to remember, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so do not make a trade based on what I'm saying at all. And to be honest with you guys, I haven't bought BTC in a very long time. I have not traded BTC in a long time. And last time I bought BTC was to send it to somebody else. But I firmly believe in BTC, and I will be holding BTC and Ethereum and Litecoin and a bunch of other cryptocurrencies later on down the road. With Russia pulling out, will that impact the market? No, because I think Russia made a statement about possibly banning cryptocurrency. It didn't budge. It didn't budge whatsoever. When China was throwing punches left and right, yeah, it was correcting, but it came right back up as though it didn't even phase it. What is the difference between Gemini and Bitfinex? I mean, they're both exchanges. On Gemini, you can only trade, Ethereum and Bitcoin. And they do allow USD deposits as well as USD withdrawals. And I don't think they're shady, to be honest with you. I think they're probably one of the most solid, exchanges that are out there. Now, I mean, every exchange has their issues and whatnot, but I think they're pretty solid, to be honest with you. I think a lot more solid than Coinbase. But yeah, you're very limited, and you're going to pay high fees. But also, I do like their funds availability. I mean, you can deposit $500 before 5 p.m. Eastern time zone, and it's instantly available for you to be able to trade, not withdraw the currency, but to be able to trade it. And then after 5 p.m., you can deposit another $500. So really, in actuality, you got $1,000 to utilize, within a couple minutes, and be able to buy and sell. You can transfer the coins out, but you can only transfer the coins out, once the funds actually clear from your bank account to Gemini. But they're giving you instant account, access to that money that you're depositing. Yeah, I haven't looked at the ratio between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yeah, boss list. Yes. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, problem, I think with Bittrex, and really with anything that is only paired with Bitcoin, is that, yeah, you got to be careful about your order, and make sure you're putting in the right decimal points. Yeah, be very careful. Is Daniel here? He'd tell us to buy Ponzi coin. Yeah, he'd probably tell us to buy Ponzi coin, EBTC, Strong Hands, Chain Coin, and every other scam coins that are out there. That's funny, Andreas. That is funny. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum has really made that nice move. It was just a little under $350, but it is pulling back. But it's expected. It's expected for it to pull back. So the price difference between Bitfinex and GDAX is really $2 on Gemini. It's 337 on Gemini. So, not too much of a difference. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitfinex chart. All the shady coins. Yeah, dude. And there are tons of shady coins. And I highly recommend, for anybody that's getting involved in this market, yeah, don't trade those shitty coins. Stick to the dominating coins. That's really where you're going to see the profit. Now, you might not see the huge profits, but, continuously, trading the dominating coins. And yeah, and if they go down, they're going to come right back up. But, if a shit coin goes down, more than likely it's not going to come back up. And we got to remember, I mean, big money flows in and out, and they'll flow in and out of these shit coins. And once they flow out of that shit coin, more than likely it's going to take a while for them to come back. And you're going to get, discouraged, and you're going to sell out of loss. And then, it's going to end up going right back up, because then now big money decided to come back in. So guys, I mean, let's take a look at, before we take a look at, Ether, I'm going to take a look at, just the top 10, and, really give you my honest opinion on what to really stick with. Of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, get rid of Ripple. Ripple doesn't belong up there. And sorry for anybody that is holding Ripple. But, stick with, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash. Get rid of NIM, get rid of BitConnect, Neo, Monero. Ethereum Classic hasn't really been doing that much, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it has not. But I would stick to those. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dash, Neo, Monero. I wouldn't even touch IOTA. I would throw definitely OMISA Go in that category, Zcash in that category. And those are really the ones that I would trade. So really, we got, Zcash, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would stick to those 9 core cryptocurrencies, and I would follow them, and I would look at the chart and study the chart, know them inside out, upside down. Those are the ones I would stick with. Yeah, you can get lucky with these shit coins and hit a crazy home run and make a huge profit. But if you continuously do that, later on, you're going to end up giving away those profits. And, out of 10 trades, you might win 1, and that'll be the home run. But those 9 trades that you lose on because you're trading shit coins, you would more likely give up all your profit. So, I mean, stick to those 9, to be honest with you. And in the long run, you'll do well. I mean, this isn't a sprint marathon. Be the turtle in the turtle rabbit race, slowly but surely. That's kind of the way I look at it. Boss list. There you go. There you go. That's not a bad strategy. You know, hold one BTC no matter what. You know, don't let this FUD get to you. And yeah, just actively keep putting a little bit of money into it. And the nice thing about GDAX too, you got to remember, is that, you know, you're not going to pay commission as long as you're utilizing the limit buy and limit sell. So, you know, you're going to gain a little bit more because you're not going to be paying that, you know, $15, $20 in commission, depending on, you know, the position size that you are taking. All right, so let's see. Ether. Let's look at maybe a 1 hour chart. Maybe a 2 hour chart. So broke through, and what was this level that I had plotted out a while ago? 319. So, you know, and I mentioned in the past that, you know, psychological level must maintain 3,000. I'm sorry, 3,000. I wish, you know, it must maintain $300. You know, cannot break down below $300. And if it breaks down below $300, short-term bearish price action movement, of course, short-term. But, you know, that 319, you know, 320 was a strong level that she had to break out, and she had to give us a confirmed breakout above that level. And here's our candlesticks. Confirmed breakout. You know, basically, you know, from getting, what was this candlestick at? $301, you know, got up to 317, and then just completely smashed that 320 psychological, you know, strong resistance that it had. You know, and I think people realize that, you know, how undervalued Ether has been, and that really she has not made the move that she should be making. There's really no reason that Ether should be stuck in this level at all, to be honest with you. You know, this thing should be hovering in the $500 range. Should. But, you know, of course, should is always a magic word. Now, can it get there? Absolutely. I think she can. But she is going to have dips along the way, up and down. But that 320 was a level that she needed to have a confirmed breakout above. She completely broke out above it. Now she, you know, she retested that 350. So why was that 350 important? So let's take a look at that 350. I think I had plotted out 338, and she blew through that 338. So 338 was a level that she needed to break out above, and she did, but it's not a confirmed breakout above that level because she's retesting that level again, and she has dipped below that level to 336, but she's still maintaining that 338. So as long as she can maintain that 338, which is, you know, the second area of resistance, which the first area of resistance was really the 320, 319, 320. Second area was the 338. And the third area of resistance, let me zoom out of here. So she basically, you know, hit this resistance right up here, you know, where really she completely broke down. You know, from that 350 all the way down to $267. But, you know, as long as she maintains this $340 level and gets right up to that 350 and maintains that 350 all time, well, not all time high, but that 395 is in sight, and that 395 will be a level of resistance for it, unless we can get a confirmed breakout like she has proven to us here, breaking out above the 320. If she can break out above that 395 with a vengeance, and, you know, of course, you know, she is going to have a little bit of a pullback. So let's just say hypothetically, you know, she breaks out of it with a vengeance, hits, you know, 415, which was basically the all-time high, you know, and if she does decide to correct, she has to maintain that $400 in order for this to be, you know, a healthy move to the upside where, you know, she's not going to come back and retest that 338 or retest the 320 level. So there's definitely a healthy move for it, but we'll see exactly, you know, what, how, as the weekend kind of, you know, gets going, how people are going to react to this. And I think, you know, really Asia is just coming off a holiday, of a very extended holiday. So this move could have something to do with it, that, you know, Asian traders are back in the market. But yeah, I mean, you know, to go from $300 all the way to 350 is pretty impressive without really a major pullback. And we've seen a lot of cryptocurrencies, you know, I mean, they'll have this type of move, but they'll, you know, they'll give up half of it. So really she hasn't given up that much. She's given up $10 of it. Yeah, so this is very bullish. So 395, she's got to break out above it with a vengeance. But if she kind of hovers in that range, like she has in the past, let's get to that 395. If she has this type of move where she's just, consolidating, more than likely she's going to have a pullback. So she needs to have a confirmed breakout above that level. And if she can do that, then she can maintain it. And, we could be seeing all new time highs on this. And that would just do wonders for the cryptocurrency market, for Ether. And I'm hoping that, ICOs are not dumping. I know, that, well, I don't know for a fact, but, the solid ICOs that are coming out, I don't think they're going to be dumping. It's the shady ICOs, that they know, for a fact that they are shady and that the price action of that ICO is not going to be maintained. More than likely, they're going to take that ICO money, dump it right away on the market. And I think that's what we saw in the past, where it really caused this market to tank back when it hit that $415 level and she crashed all the way down to, I think it was $176. So definitely a healthy level for Ether. Lisk. I think Lisk was is Lisk in the top 20? Yes, it is. Definitely higher than 17. Because to be honest with you, I don't know, how you would handle it, but I would exclude out, Ripple, BitConnect, NIM, IOTA, and Cardano. I would exclude those out. If you exclude those out, then Lisk is really at a higher market cap, or it's up in the range of being 13 in the market cap, something to that extent, or even a little higher. So Lisk is not too bad at all. But she is down, especially within the past 7 days. But yeah, I think going forward, I'm only going to really focus on cryptocurrencies that are in the 1 billion market cap, aside from the shady ones, of course. Waiting for further drop on OMG Neo to rebuy. Can't continue till hard fork shortly. No, I mean, yeah, I've been kind of disappointed with OMG. Really disappointed. I mean, my entry was 9. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm down less than $200, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in the price action. And let's take a look at that real quick. I mean, this thing had, a nice breakout to 900. I'm sorry, 900. $9.70, I think it was. $9.60. And it didn't maintain it. It didn't maintain it whatsoever. And a lot of that has to do with, people want to hold BTC. I mean, I don't blame them. If they bought at $7, why not sell at 9? Why not sell at 9.50? It's a $2.50 profit per coin. I would have definitely sold if I bought at 7. 9.50 definitely would have been out, and then waited for a retracement to buy back in. But yeah, when this thing really had a nice move up to $9.60, I thought she would get to 10 and kind of maintain that $10 level. But yeah, she's having a hard time. And, OMG is not the only one. It's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that are having a hard time maintaining that level. I mean, look at Neo. I mean, Neo was just at $38 or $39, something to that extent. And then $27, I think she got lower than 27, 26.60. Let's see if this thing loads. Look at LTC BTC for April until today. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Let me find. Yeah, I usually only list the USD value, but we'll go ahead and take a look at LTC BTC. It's down. I mean, really, it's only the USD pair that's up. The Ether pair on all these cryptocurrencies and the BTC pair is down. Is there any reason for ETC not having an upward move? Not really, no. There isn't any reason at all, to be honest with you. Not that I know of. LTC shouldn't be stuck in these ranges at all. It should not. And it's a little disappointing. But I mean, we got to remember too, I mean, everything is kind of down except for, the dominating cryptocurrencies, the BTC, LTC, and Ether. So let's go ahead and take a look at the one-day chart. Let's go back to April. Look at it on Crypto Watch. Is that better? So we're gonna have to probably look at Bittrex then. Let's see who's listing it in BTC pair. Poloniex, Kraken. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, it looks like, I got to look at Poloniex on the LTC BTC pair. And we'll compare that with Bitfinex. Yeah, Bitfinex. Yeah, definitely an interesting pattern. Definitely an interesting pattern. And I would say that, if I was looking at this a while back, I would say, what? Currently where it's at right now should be, and that's a magic word, should be a major support. Twice she bounced off that level, and she bounced off that level pretty nicely, I would say so. But yeah, she bounced off that level here, came right back down, retested that same level, went right back up, and now she's retesting that same level. But I probably got to look at this a little better to see if we do see a head and shoulder, and we do. There's basically the head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and the fake. But yeah, this is a textbook pattern. Definitely a textbook pattern. Let's see what the 1 week looks like. But yeah, if I was looking at this a while back, I would say that's a strong support. But yeah, I'm surprised that it's retesting the support, considering the USD value is going up. So let's see, the 3-day is probably going to be a little better to look at to see if we have a symmetrical head and shoulder. Yeah, just about. I mean, if it wasn't for this thing peaking here, this is very symmetrical, head and shoulder. It really is. And on these candles, I mean, these are ugly candlesticks on the 3-day. This is a 3-day price action. I mean, it's pretty ugly. But yeah, I mean, I would say this is a head and shoulder, even though she did peak up here. This is interesting. Definitely interesting. I would not have thought to look at this pair to see how she's going to react to this. So if she cracks through this level, it looks like, I mean, she is trying to maintain it, and I've really got to look at this a little more granular instead of looking at the 3-day chart. But if she doesn't maintain this level here, she could definitely break that neck. And a head and shoulder fake, she could easily break the neck, and the neck is right here, basically, where the current price action is currently situated, right around 0.00977756, something to that extent. But if she can't maintain it, and people are kind of giving up on this, LTC BTC pair, she could retest another level. But I got to look at this a little closer to see if that is a level where majority of the fighting happened between the bears and the bulls. But that could be the 0.008. Definitely an interesting pattern. She's definitely following a very, very specific channel. Um, and that channel really is between the 0.01, 0.0102, or actually, what is this here? 0.009, let's just say, or 0.01, just to make the math easy. From 0.01 all the way up to 0.02. So she is playing that channel. But I mean, only time will tell whether this channel that it's currently stuck in is going to be maintained, and she's going to, end up heading up, or she's going to completely break through that and start retesting another level of that 0.008. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting pattern. Very interesting. But yeah, basically, if she doesn't maintain, the current level that she's at, she's looking at that 0.008, give or take 0.0083, 0.008, basically. But as of right now, she is maintaining that level. And I mean, she came right to it, right up here and bounced up, came right back to it, retested it and bounced up. So we'll see. I mean, the more times that she's retesting that level, it could go both ways, of course. I mean, it tells you how strong that level is because she's retesting that level and then bouncing up, retesting that level and bouncing up. But continuously doing that, it's going to cause people to panic. And it's going to cause people to sell, especially if anybody's shorting the LTC BTC pair. But yeah, very interesting pattern. Who mentioned that? Boss list, yeah. Thank you so much for showing me that or for mentioning it. But I'll definitely have to keep an eye on this to see if she does break that level. And if she does break that to that level, then that 0.008 could definitely be in sight. But I'm surprised that she is retesting those levels. Really surprised, considering how the USD value is going up. Very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, I normally don't look at any pair except for the USD pair. I mean, everybody has their own, their own way they trade. Some people like to trade in the pairing it with BTC or Ether. I like to look at the USD pair. And that's really where a lot of the volume seems to be. It's in the USD pair. So let's see, 59 bucks on GDAX, Kraken is 59. Bitfinex is right around 59. I don't think we're going to see that same pattern on the USD pair. Yeah, definitely not the same pattern whatsoever. If this thing ever loads. Yeah, I mean, on the USD pair, she's got a lot of grounds to gain. A lot of grounds to gain. She's definitely found, and that's the thing about LTC. It's a healthy, it's a solid investment. It's nothing that is going to drop heavily and then not come right back up. But it is just going to maintain a certain channel for a very extended period of time where people just kind of get discouraged and they're like, man, this thing is not moving whatsoever. And then out of nowhere, it just takes off. And I mean, we've seen that happen when it took off to 93 bucks. I mean, it maintained a very, very boring type of, price action movement, where, if you had a very small position, you're just like, man, I'm making a couple bucks here and there. It's not that much. And now if you had a sizable position, yeah, these nice little upticks are not too bad, from the $41, to the $50. I mean, $9 gain, per coin is pretty significant with a very large sizable position. But, I mean, if you only have, 3 or 4, then yeah, you're not going to really see the profits there. But yeah, it'll just move sideways for a very extended period of time. And then all of a sudden, it'll have a crazy breakout like we just recently saw. I mean, I just saw this on, I think it was Monday, a little over 50 bucks, $50 and like 60 cents. And then it just completely goes right up to $60. So a 20% increase. But definitely good things for, for the cryptocurrency market, as long as it maintains a healthy move to the upside, has little minor corrections, they'll come right back up. They're not going to go down and stay down, like we see with a lot of other alts. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, or if there's something that's moving you want me to take a look at. Let's take a look at a couple things on here. I know I looked at EBTC not too long ago. And I don't know if anybody got trapped in EBTC, because it was flying that day that you guys asked me to take a look at it. But ever since then, it took a hammer. And I mean, this is a perfect example of a pump and dump. I mean, they dumped this thing all the way to, what they dump it to, 2 cents. Let's just say 2.5 cents. And now it's up to 6 cents, 7 cents. So I mean, it's going up from 2.5 cents to 7 cents. Almost a 200% profit. But yeah, this is a huge dump. And I remember, you guys asking me to take a look at this, and it was right around, when it basically, dipped. What did it dip to? It dipped to 20 cents from like 80 cents, from 70 cents to 20 cents, and then it decided to come right back up. So I mean, yeah, this is the pump, the dump, and new traders, probably looked at this and said, oh, this is a nice correction. Let me get in this. And then I faked them out. This is the fake out. Dipped again heavily. People probably thought, oh, this is the bottom. Let me buy it. Faked them out again. Started going up, thinking, okay, you know what? This is the point where it's going to start turning around and getting up to 60 cents and maybe break all-time high. But he had dumped it again. So perfect example of a pump and dump. And as we can see, the volume just skyrocketed that day. So somebody had a shitload of this. So, maybe development team was dumping. It's definitely a possibility. Daniel, welcome, buddy. Thoughts on DGB? Yeah, somebody asked me about that. I forget who it was. Price action sucks. Unfortunately, it sucks. I wouldn't put a lot of money into it. I mean, if you want to test out the market for a long-term hold, and you really got to go into it thinking, you know what, this is going to be a long-term hold. Yeah, price action sucks. It really sucks. And it sucks for anybody that would have bought anywhere at the top, above 300, Satoshis, thinking, okay, you know what, that's the bottom. It's retraced a good amount from its high of, almost 450 Satoshis. But yeah, this thing has just been bleeding. Completely bleeding. And there's a lot of them that have been bleeding. So if we really take a look at all the cryptocurrencies that are on Bitfinex, I think it's only a handful that are up. Mona, RBY, INCNT, Zen. Uno is definitely starting to make a little bit of a comeback, but not too much. But yeah, we only really have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 out of, I don't even know how many they have. I'm not even going to sit here and count these. But yeah, a lot of things are getting dumped. Everything's in the red. I mean, this is a bloodbath for alts. Definitely. Clam, 56%. What is the reason for this dump? They're not delisting it. But somebody dumped it heavily. But yeah, so I mean, I personally would not buy DGB. I personally wouldn't buy anything that's not in the top 10. And remember, you got to, I don't know, if you're just joining this live stream now, you got to exclude out some of the cryptocurrencies that are in the top 10. You really have to exclude them out. You can't say, okay, it's in the top 10. It's got a market cap of, $1 billion. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. You got to exclude out some of those. And I think, I've briefly covered which ones those are, but I'll go ahead and say them again if you're just joining this live stream now. Yeah, exactly, AJ. Exactly. If DGB fundamentals were good, it wouldn't be at, what, 160 or whatever it is, 150, Satoshis right now. It definitely wouldn't be there at all. The fundamentals are horrendous. They suck. And price action is telling you how bad those fundamentals are. So really, honestly, guys, I mean, stay away, you know, especially if you want to trade something that's consistent, something that's, you know, that's not going to cause you to lose sleep overnight. Now, I'm not saying, you know, don't get into DGB. I mean, if you firmly believe in it, I mean, yeah, take a position, but don't take a lot of a position, you know, maybe put like 20 bucks at it, you know, 30 bucks, whatever you feel comfortable losing and whatever you feel comfortable, you know, taking out of the circulation of the funds that you have for trading. Don't put a lot into it because it's down a lot. There's a reason why it's down a lot, because fundamentals suck. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody that is holding DGB. But yeah, take Ripple out, take NIM out. You know, they don't really belong in the top 10, considering, I mean, the circulating supply is huge. And if the circulating supply is huge, of course, the market cap is going to be huge. That's why I really, you know, don't really follow the market cap, to be honest with you, especially if the circulating supply is huge. You know, if the circulating supply is low and it's in the top 10, that tells you it's very solid. But yeah, take out Ripple, take out NIM, take out IOTA, definitely take out BitConnect. But yeah, and I would really stick to whatever's left: the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Monero, Dash, Neo, Ethereum Classic. But yeah, it's Ethereum Classic hasn't been doing too well. You know, Omisa Go, Zcash. I wouldn't even mess with Cardano. Qtum, you know, if it starts hitting all-time lows, you know, if this really starts getting, you know, I would probably be, you know, it would probably pique my interest at like, you know, $5. So I'd have to retrace 50% from its current price. But I do like the circulating supply of 59 million. But it would have to go down significantly in order for me to even consider it. And now that they are trading on Bitfinex, you know, I would consider it. But it's got to retrace. It's got to retrace to a level where I feel comfortable buying it. And then I know that, you know, if it dips to 5, there's a possibility that it can, you know, give me 100% return. But yeah, anything else really, you know, below Zcash, as long as you exclude, you know, Cardano, you exclude IOTA, BitConnect, NIM, Ripple. Yeah, those are really the ones I would look at. And those are the ones I would really follow. And those are the ones I would research as much as possible. And stick to the solid coins, because those are the ones that are going to really give you some sort of a return. They should. What is XBT? XBT was what a lot of exchanges still call BTC. So BTC's ticker a while back was XBT. Yeah, some exchanges will list it as XBT. But yeah, XBT is basically BTC. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that was, you know, from the research I've done a long time ago. But yeah, there aren't too many exchanges really now that, you know, label it as XBT. But let's see what crypto coin market cap shows that for XBT. Nothing for XBT. But yeah, XBT was the ticker way back in the day for BTC. I don't even know what Bitcoin 21 is. People are just, you know, using that Bitcoin name left and right to try to confuse new people coming onto this market. Yeah, AJ, I completely agree, man. I think we are going to keep heading higher. There's definitely money that's flowing into, you know, BTC. I mean, BTC, let's see if it's even hit that 100 billion market cap. I mean, it wasn't that far away. I mean, I think it was like, you know, $4 billion away from hitting that $100 billion market cap. It's still a huge dominance, you know, 54.7. Huge dominance. Let's go moon. I don't know. Maybe later on it could, but yeah, you know, I think more people are really focusing on BTC at the current moment, to be honest with you, until probably after November, you know, when the SegWit2x kind of, you know, dies down and that fork happens, you know, and then I think, you know, that's when really alts will start to make a comeback. But until then, I think, you know, they could really stay at the levels that they're at, or they can continue to bleed. And when I mean alts, I mean, you know, not the top 4, you know, top four. You know, the dominating four, the dominating five, you know, I think we'll still continue to do somewhat good, but I think every other alt is going to end up dying off. Well, not dying off, but just kind of either flatline or consolidate, or just mainly stay in the range that they are until after November. And then we can kind of see, you know, money flowing back in to the dominating alts, you know, and I can see OMISA Go really start to make a turnaround. But to be honest with you, I will probably sell before then. Okay, so XBT is still used definitely on Kraken. I didn't know on BitMax or BitMEX if they were used on that. But yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of other exchanges as well too that still label it as XBT. And that could be very confusing. That could be very confusing. It's just like, you know, BCC, you know, it's BitConnect. It's not Bitcoin Cash. You know, some exchanges listed as BCC and, you know, some exchanges listed as BCH. Yeah, AJ, you basically hit that nail, you know, that fundamentals, you know, it has good fundamentals, you know, it's going to have a nice uptrend. And those are really the ones that, you know, technical analysis really works on. Technical analysis doesn't really work on these crap coins, shit coins that are being pumped and dumped, and, you know, they don't really have much of a movement. But yeah, it's got to have great fundamentals. It really does have to. Big money coming. Yeah, big money is coming. You're right. But, you know, when is big money going to pull out? You know, is it when they, you know, when BTC really runs and breaks that 6,000, you know, hits 7,500 bucks, and then, you know, SegWit2X, they get their coins, and then are they going to kind of, you know, start allocating some of that money into the alts? That's kind of what I think. But yeah, BTC will still continue to dominate. But yeah, right now, money's not shifting out of BTC whatsoever. I mean, people are hodling it. They're holding it and not letting it go. I don't blame them at all. If you're holding BTC, congrats, especially if you've been holding BTC for a very long period of time. Yeah, I didn't know Q10 had a new coin, or let me see what you're saying. I just found out Exodus Wallet didn't swap my QTIM for the new QTIM. Yeah, I didn't know they were coming out with a new QTIM token. $13K BTC by summer. Definitely doable. You know, with the type of price action move that it's making, 50%, 100% gainer within a very short period of time. You know, it's nothing for it. You can easily do it. So yeah, you know, you could be right. 13K by end of summer. You could be right, or by the summer. What's the best alt to get into right now? Blake, welcome, by the way. You know, if I really had to look at, you know, the top, you know, excluding what I said to exclude, you know, in my honest opinion, and not because I'm holding a position in it, I would say OMISA Go. You know, that's really what I would say. Circulating supply, 98 million. You know, the price is very cheap. You know, this thing really hasn't, you know, it's not in the 1 billion market cap. I think OMISA Go is really, excuse me, you know, and you got to really think about it, you know, long term. So, you know, if you get in at, you know, $7, you know, hold it for an extended period of time. And the reason why I'm going to be selling is because I need the funds for something else. And that's why I'm selling. But if I didn't need the funds, I would definitely hold on to the 234 or whatever I have of OMISA Go that I purchased at $9. But yeah, I do need the funds. But yeah, out of, you know, all the cryptocurrencies, you know, like I said, you know, stick to stuff that's in the top 10. OMISA Go, even though it's not showing the top 10, but if you exclude some of the, you know, shady or crappy coins that are there that shouldn't belong there, OMISA Go would definitely be in the top 10. And, you know, for it to really not be 100, you know, or for it to not really be a billion market cap, it's, in my opinion, it's undervalued. It really is. That's really, in my honest opinion, that's a coin that I would buy. I'm not saying that's the right decision for you to make. That would definitely be the right decision for me to make, and that's why I still own it. Yeah, AJ, I was a little confused about that too. I didn't know there was a new Q10 token. But yeah, definitely share that with us. Blake, not a problem, buddy. Not a problem at all. Yeah, just, definitely, rewind this video and watch it from the back, because I did talk about, as a new person coming onto this market, what you should really be focusing on. And you really shouldn't be focusing on anything that's just, flying high, something that's like, 150, in the number, or in place of the market cap. So, I mean, anything that's below, the top 10, I would stay away from them, for the meantime, until we see the pattern where money is flowing, out of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and starting to flow into alts. Then it's a great opportunity to kind of find that, alt has been, that's been kind of beat down, like ARC, maybe 10x, Augur, if money's flowing back into them, but that could be a little while before money flows into it. Exactly, AJ. Yeah, I think it's cheap. It's undervalued, and I wish I could hold it for a long period of time. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of it in a day, in 24 hours. Actually, in the 26 hours, I'm probably gonna have to sell it. So I'm hoping it makes a move to the upside. And when it started really making a move to 970, I was like, all right, you know what? If it gets to 10, I'm going to sell it. It's $1 profit per coin. It gives me about 235 bucks. I'll be happy with that to utilize it for something else. But yeah, just couldn't make it. It couldn't make it at all. Thoughts on 10x? I mean, it would have to be a long-term hold, to be honest with you. It is cheap. Circulating supply is not that much, but they're not the only player in that space. So, I mean, there is competition. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it just for a long-term hold, then, it's not a bad play. I think, it's a little undervalued, but, money would have to start flowing into alts, and then kind of determine, okay, you know what, money is flowing into, 10x or PIVX, or I'm trying to think what else is on here. Let's see. Yeah, really nothing that would interest me, to be honest with you. Nothing that would interest me. Neo would definitely interest me if she decides to come down further. If she retests that $20 level, I mean, I got in at 20 and sold at 34. So $20 for Neo. I mean, when I bought it at 20, it dipped to like 13 bucks, and I was like, man, I should have waited. So, under 20 bucks to kind of get your feet wet and get a little bit of an entry, see how she handles it. And then, if she dips further, have a little bit of capital to add to it. Don't do that. Don't average down with, I think AJ and I were, talking about this on the last live stream. Don't average down on a crap coin. Just don't do it. Lisk would be one of them, or was it Lisk that we were looking at? I forget what it was. But yeah, some of these crap coins, you don't want to average down on. But Neo, I would, in a heartbeat, average down. And I wish I had capital to average down. I just didn't have any capital on the side. And I've always said, always have capital on the side. But, when you're kind of spread out, it's hard to have capital on the side. But, majority of the time, 95% of the time, I usually have capital on the side. Right now, I have nothing. I have no capital on the side at all. I got 13 cents that I can utilize, and that's nothing. You happy you sold salt last week? Yeah, David, I think you said, yeah, you went all in. Was that you? And then you got out, which is with a little bit minimal of a loss. I mean, salt is so new. I mean, I don't really know the fundamentals behind it, but a lot of people were raving about this thing. I don't know why. Yeah, they need to be on bigger exchanges. They definitely need, they need to get listed on Kraken, on Bitfinex. They definitely need to be on a lot more bigger exchanges than currently now. I think, basically Binance is the only big exchange that they're on that's kind of well known. and that's probably being, you know, utilized by a lot of traders. Would I rather have Monaco 10x or token card? So that's what I was talking about. You know, that there are a lot of players, you know, in that space. So, you know, you kind of have to pick your top dog. And if I had to pick a top dog, you know, because I really thought about this the other day, and I said, you know, when I start really traveling, you know, I want to utilize the cryptocurrency that I have and be able to spend it. And I think really Monaco would be the card that I would get. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's an investment that I would take, to be honest with you. But let's see where Monaco is. Monaco got beat up. I mean, this thing got beat up. You know, I mean, especially if you're buying when it's running up so high. I mean, that's a wrong strategy, the wrong thing to do. You're best off walking away from your computer, unless you're looking to short, you know, which I don't really recommend any new traders doing. But yeah, when it's mooning like this, you know, I mean, it basically gave us the middle finger. Anybody that got into it. I mean, this kind of looks like it's resembling EBTC, to be honest with you. But yeah, I would definitely utilize the service that they offer. But would I invest in it? I don't know. Not at this current level, to be honest with you. Even though it's down a significant amount, I would want to see this thing kind of, you know, retest some levels that I would be comfortable buying in, and that would be probably the $5, $4 level. You know, if she retests the, you know, the $4 level anywhere from four. Let me see what this is. Yeah, I don't think I'm in the right spot. So anywhere from, you know, let's just say $5 down to $3, you know, that would pique my interest on this. And it would have to be a long-term hold. It wouldn't be something I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm expecting this thing to kind of start making a run and getting back up and buying in. You know, it would be, you know, and when I mean long-term hold, for me, long-term hold is like 30 days. You know, that's a long-term hold for me. So, you know, if I do say long-term hold, you know, I don't mean years and years and years, personally for me. But, you know, for a lot of people, you know, they might be looking at a long-term investment and holding this for a lot longer. You know, I would be looking to lock in some profits along the way. But yeah, that would pique my interest. You know, anywhere on, you know, from $4 down to $3, that would definitely pique my interest. So at this current moment, it's not piquing my interest. But if I had to utilize one of those cards, I think it would be Monaco. Next doing. Bit Buffalo. What is up? I don't know if you're from Buffalo, but welcome, buddy. I'll get to that comment. AJ, so how do I deal with not having enough funds to hold longer term? Yeah, it sucks not having extra funds. You know, and I don't think it's just an issue that you have. It's an issue that a lot of people have, to be honest with you. Because, you know, we kind of, you know, spread our stuff out. And like I said, 95% of the time, I usually have capital on the side. Now I don't have capital. I haven't had capital ever since I bought OMG at $9. And that kind of sucks. So, you know, am I going to throw more money into this market? I probably will, not at this current time. Once I'm locked in, and I'm going to, you know, talk about a couple things that I do plan on doing. And in Bit Buffalo, you hit it right on the head, and I will cover that. But yeah, it's just it's tough not having capital on the side. You average down a couple times on crap coins, and yes, you just lost extra money. I like the idea of only doing that with top 10. Yes, exactly. Top 10. Top 10 is, you're a lot safer. You know, your capital is going to be preserved. Yes, it could take a little bit of a hit, but it's going to be preserved, to be honest with you. So you have Monaco and token now. as in the sense of the card, or you've invested in it? Yeah, they are both down. Yeah, and the thing is, when there's so many players in the market, AJ, not all of them are going to survive. There is going to be one that dominates. I mean, look at Apple. Just if you're comparing apples with any other computer maker, you know, Apple is the one that dominated. Some of them have completely fell off the face of the earth. CompuServe. I don't know if you guys remember that. I mean, we're going way, way back. I don't know if Pay got the Visa deal. I didn't hear about that. And definitely, and I've said it before, definitely be careful where you're getting that article from, where you're reading it from, and the motive behind it. If that statement or if that announcement is coming from Pay, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt, unless Visa comes out and says, yes, we partnered with Pay. And I don't think Visa's going to come out and say it unless it's true. I do like Dash. What is the price of Dash now? $306. Got to a low of 287. I've never traded Dash though. I've never traded Dash. Yeah, Blake, I definitely want to get the card. Definitely want to get the card. Bit Buffalo. I don't know if you're still on here. I'm a huge fan of CryptoT20. Huge, huge, huge fan. And I'll share something with you guys. If you're part of our Slack, I don't know if you're part of our Slack. And I've done a tremendous amount of research on Crypto20, a good amount of research. And yeah, man, it's okay. I'll say it this way. It's probably, well, it's not probably, it is the needle in the haystack in regards to all ICOs. ICOs are scams. All right. But not all of them, though. Not all of them. There's always that gem. There's always that needle in the haystack. Right. And in my honest opinion, CryptoTwenty is that gem. And let me find that comment that I wrote out to the team. I'm just going to do a snippet of it and share it with you guys, so you don't think I'm BSing you guys. So basically what I told the team was, FYI, I despise ICOs and would never recommend anyone to take part, but there is a needle in a haystack in CryptoTwenty. This is an index fund that is great for long-term investment, especially if you believe that the cryptocurrency market will gain mass adoption and the market cap will grow in the future, which I see it growing, to that $1 trillion mark. They basically, CryptoTwenty invest in the top 20 by market cap, excluding anything that is shady, unethical, run as an MLL, basically BitConnect, and there's a bunch of other ones that are kind of scammy. They will not be investing in those. And I basically said, I strongly recommend non-US South African Cayman Island residents, because unfortunately US residents, South African residents, and Cayman Island residents are excluded from this ICO. And I basically strongly urge for them to do their research. Once the pre-sale on ICO ends, it will be hard to buy on an exchange unless an ICO participant is willing to sell. More than likely, on an index fund like this, there aren't going to be too many people looking to sell. Yeah, there might be a handful looking to flip this thing because they don't really understand the potential of CryptoTwenty. I understand the potential of CryptoTwenty. I really do. And I firmly believe in this. Now, this is not a recommendation for you to go and buy it, but, and I'm going to cover this a little bit more before I do get off the live stream, but I think this is kind of very important to cover this. But, I normally don't talk about ICOs. I normally don't cover ICOs at all. And I have gotten emails through Facebook for me to kind of do a review on ICOs. And I've not reached back out to them. And they definitely want to pay me to do it, but I don't feel comfortable, giving a review on an ICO that I'm not comfortable with. So this is not a paid advertisement whatsoever. CryptoTwenty is not paying me to do this, to talk about them. But I do firmly believe in this. But basically, I stated once the pre-sale ICO ends, it'll be hard to buy on an exchange unless an ICO participant is willing to sell, which is probably not going to happen unless someone is looking to flip it. Index funds normally trade and sell at a higher price on an exchange due to speculation, but the price on the exchange will probably never go below the NAV value. And we're going to cover what that NAV value is. I don't know why I put right? Put that there. So the NAV value, which is the net asset value of the underlying assets of the top 20. As with any investment, there's definitely risk involved. Do your own research. I mean, that's kind of what I shared with the team on our Slack chat, and I kind of pinned it because I definitely want everybody to research this thing, because I firmly believe that, this is that gem. This is that needle in a haystack of all these crazy ICOs that are coming out that are just basically taking everybody's money. They really are taking everybody's money. And I've been, heavily following this. So let me do a little bit of math, and I'm going to share a different screenshot with you guys, and then I'll try to answer some of the questions that you do have about Crypto20. So Crypto20. So they are looking basically to raise. So there's 7.5 million that they're looking to sell on the pre-sale. But total, they're looking to sell 75 million after this pre-sale. So right now, you're able to buy it for 95 cents. And I am surprised that this thing didn't sell out in a matter of 30 minutes. And if the US investors were not excluded from this thing would have sold out quick. And I mean quick. And I've seen an ICO sell out within a matter of 30 minutes, 36 minutes. And this could definitely have been one of them. So I'm very surprised that, people really, and the nice thing about this is that, really there isn't much advertisement. I mean, you go on any, cryptocurrency website, they got banners about every single ICO that is basically out there. You're not going to hear anything about Crypto20. I found out about Crypto20. I happened to be on Reddit for RHEA, RHEA token, because they kind of almost do the same exact thing, but they were trying to lure investors in by offering 40% dividend, this and that. And, anytime they're offering a 40% dividend, I kind of stay away from, because they're just trying to lure people in. They're not offering any dividend whatsoever. What they're offering is a very cheap index fund to buy, at the underlying price. So far right now, they're only accepting Ether, Bitcoin, and Litecoin for the pre-sale. Once the ICO starts, they're only accepting Ether. But let's do the math a little bit here, because I think I hit refresh on this, so it should be accurate. But so far right now, with those three underlying assets, Ether, Bitcoin, Litecoin, those underlying assets are worth $4,125,096, right? Divide that by the amount of tokens that are already sold, $3,750,203 equals almost $1.10. $1.10. And investors are buying this up at 95 cents right now currently. So you're up 15 cents initially right off the bat by buying this thing. Now, I'm not recommending anybody to buy this. I will never recommend anybody to buy a cryptocurrency. Definitely do your own research. But in my honest opinion, this is something I'm interested in. And this is something I like, the fact that there is an index fund that, will track the top 20 cryptocurrencies. Now, the best thing about this also is that, and I'll get to the comments. I'm really not looking at the comments now, but, they rebalance on a weekly basis. And I've read their white paper, and I read it once, I read it twice, I read it 3 times. And I really analyzed, the charts that they had on, their rebalancing and how it looks if you balance on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. And it was more profitable for them to rebalance on a weekly basis, because they would be saving a little bit of money on commission, versus rebalancing on a daily basis. On a monthly basis, it wasn't there. So I highly recommend looking at the fact sheet. And let's go ahead and take a look at the fact sheet right now. But, it's all autonomous. It's not a human being. This is not an actively managed fund. It's all autonomous. So, let's just say, shit hits the fan, and, the CEO, the COO, whoever they are, they fall off the face of the earth. Something happens, they, drown on a boat, knock on wood, nothing happens, but it's all autonomous. The fund will still survive. It doesn't require human interaction. It doesn't require a human being to actively balance this thing. All right. And the nice thing is also, they're not really asking for a lot, in the sense of they're not saying, hey, you know what, they are going to keep 13% of the funds. So not the funds that they're generating in the sense of USD, they're going to utilize 98% of the funds that are being generated in the ICO to buy the underlying assets. So they're not really taking any of that money, to basically pay themselves to start the business. It's already created. They've already spent their money on creating the system, on back testing it, and they back tested this thing numerous times, and they figure out, how it can be very profitable. If we rebalance this on a daily basis, if we rebalance this on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, where is the profitability? So they're going to keep 13% of the tokens. So they're looking to sell 75 million tokens. So the 13% would take it right about to 87 million tokens, something to that extent. But they're not going to keep, honestly, 12 million tokens, because they're only going to keep 13% of the total tokens that are sold. So I'm just going to make the math easy. Let's say, they sell only 1,000 tokens. The team only gets 130 tokens. So it's only 13%, of the total that's basically sold. So as investors are buying these tokens, that's how they're being minted. They're not mining these things. They're not already minted. They're minting them as investors are buying them. So there won't be anything that's left over at the end for them to burn or for them to keep. Like a lot of the ICOs, if they don't sell everything, they retain all the tokens. And I think that's kind of shady, but they're not. Let's see. I mean, I could do a whole video on this, to be honest with you. But I was supposed to get off this live stream at 11 o'clock, but I don't mind keeping this going a little bit. But their portfolio composition would look something like this. They're basically taking the top 20. So let's just say hypothetically, a shitcoin falls into the top 20 somehow, some way. More than likely, if it's at the time of the rebalancing, they would get into that, but only a small portion would be allocated to it. As you can see, the allocation, is a lot higher on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Ripple. But, if something just really falls into the top 20, the allocation is only going to be 1.3%. So if it falls out, they're going to sell all that fund and then reallocate the fund into whatever is really in the top 20. So rebalancing on a weekly basis, is probably, the most beneficial, the most profitable thing for them to do. Let me get out of here real quick and look at the white paper. Oh, dude, I bit Buffalo. I've done a lot of research on this. So yeah, I've definitely, I've conversed with Daniel. I've wrote him a couple messages. They're very active, man. I mean, I've never seen an active team on a Slack. I mean, they're located out of South Africa. And I think they get probably 2 hours of sleep, to be honest with you. These guys don't sleep at all. They're the most active that I've seen on any type of Slack chat. And they're not being shady whatsoever at all. But yeah, everything has been back tested, for weeks, for months. I'm sorry, my phone was going off. But yeah, if you really take a look at their white paper, they talk about the portfolio performance for different number of coins, because they thought about, how is it going to be more profitable if we only trade the top 10 coins, the top 20 coins, the top 30 coins, the top 40 coins. And they came to the conclusion from their, their back testing that the top 20 was going to be more profitable. Expense for different numbers of coins, so they'd look at their expenses and, are their expenses going to be higher for 10 coins, 20 coins, 30 coins, 40 coins? It worked out to be 20 coins. The performance based on different market caps, their expense for different market caps. I mean, they've done a crazy research and back testing, for their autonomous, really rebalancing on a weekly basis. So I highly recommend this. I mean, if you're not located in the U.S., South Africa, or Cayman Islands, in my opinion, this is really the investment to get into. And this is, I wouldn't buy this to flip it. I would buy this to hold on to it. And, considering right now, you would be up 15 cents. So initially, right off the bat, you're buying it, you'd be up 15 cents. I mean, what ICO out there has a profit, a return on investment right off the bat? There aren't any at all. There's none. And the development team, I think, is great. They really are. And I'm surprised that they didn't sell out. And I expected them to sell out within, the first hour. But, U.S. residents being excluded, of course, they didn't sell out, which is good. It's given the average person the opportunity to get in. And considering they didn't advertise this thing and pay, papers to publish articles about this, like every other ICO, it's basically pay for play. And, a lot of them will pay to play, to get an article written about them. They're not doing that at all. And I think that prevented a lot of whales from getting in. I think if whales really found out about this, they would have bought everything up. Now, I'm sure there are whales in this, but, for a whale to buy up, 7.5 million, of the coins at 95 cents is nothing to them. So they could have easily bought this up like crazy. But let me see what you're saying, and then I'll try to answer some questions for you guys. All right, so let's see, AJ. Any of those could win. There's no way to know which one will be long term. You always think about buying a little for long term, and then one will win. So the nice thing about Crypto20 is that you're not betting on a single cryptocurrency. You're really investing in the top 20 in market cap. Over the long period of time. I mean, you could easily flip this thing and make a couple $1,000s, considering it's up 15 cents per coin already. So you could easily flip this thing. But if you believe in that the cryptocurrency market, is going to gain mass adoption, and it is going to grow, and the market cap is going to grow, this fund is going to grow. And I mean, I'm a big fan of Warren Buffett. You guys know that. Maybe if you guys are new, you might not know that. But Warren Buffett, had made a $1 million bet, and said, I will bet $1 million that any active investors or actively managed fund could never beat an index fund of the S&P 500. And they couldn't. He won $1 million. Active managers, active fund managers, hedge funds, they cannot beat an index fund. And the nice thing about Crypto20 is that, they are mimicking the S&P 500. And I'm sure you guys know what the S&P 500 is. They are mimicking that type of trading, that type of style. And the S&P 500 has grown to be something crazy, in the billions and billions. I think it's, what is the total market cap for it now? It's close to $1 billion market cap, just the S&P 500. Blake, you invested in it. Dude, high five. High five to you, brother. High five. That's awesome. Now, Blake, I'm hoping you're talking about Crypto20. I don't know if you're talking about Monaco. Bit Buffalo, you're in, dude. It's seriously hands down the best investment. It really is. And you don't have to stress out because it's autonomously managed. You're not going to lose sleep over it. Yes, and honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, there are risks involved. So if the overall currency market decides to take a dump, of course, this fund is going to take a dump too, because it follows the underlying assets of the top 20. Of course, it's going to go down. You got to expect that. It's not going to just keep going up and up and up and up. So it really all depends on, the underlying assets of the top 20 cryptocurrencies. So as long as, we believe that the cryptocurrency market is going to expand, and mass adoption is going to move in, and this thing will exceed 200 billion, 300 billion, and start getting up to that 500 billion, a trillion market cap, then yeah, this fund will grow. I mean, it has already grown so much. They didn't sell that many tokens versus the underlying assets and what the value is. It's worth 15 cents more than what people are currently paying for it right now. Yeah, I saw a couple podcasts with him. But yeah, I mean, those guys are very knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. And I mean, I've read a lot of the questions that was being thrown at them left and right. And I mean, some of the questions, I mean, if you really just kind of scroll up and read their chat, a lot of the questions are already answered for you. If you read the white paper, it's already answered for you. But, I mean, they're getting stupid questions that are being thrown at them, things that they've answered, probably 100 times. And, they'll keep answering them. They'll keep answering them, and they're not rude about it. They don't degrade anybody or I just, in my honest opinion, I think it's a solid team, that wants to do something good for the cryptocurrency market. Yes, there's something in it for them. They are retaining some of the coins, whatever, 13% of the coins of the total that are basically sold. And they are getting a 0.5% cut on an annual basis from the total, from the total profits from the, so $4 million, they'll take 0.5% at the end of the year. And that's nothing, to be honest with you. A lot of actively managed, funds, they charge 3 to 4%, to actively manage those for you. And, human interaction kind of, I mean, we're only humans, we can make mistakes, but when it's autonomously traded, computers, don't mess around. They know exactly how they're programmed, and they're going to do exactly how they're programmed. So like I said, if something falls in the top 20 and it's time for them to rebalance at the end of the week, they'll put a little bit into it. If it falls out, they'll sell it and allocate that money into something else. You want me to do a full video? Oh man, I would love to. I would love to. No, AJ, currently right now, it's not listed on any exchange. And it really doesn't matter if it gets listed on an exchange or not, to be honest with you, because you can sell it right on their portal. So, you basically, when you get your tokens, you're interacting with a smart contract and you're able to sell it for the NAV, the net asset value of whatever the net asset value is of the underlying cryptocurrencies that they've invested in. You can sell it right on their portal and they'll cash you out and send you Ether. That's a way you can sell. So it really doesn't matter if they're listed on an exchange at all, to be honest with you. But it's going to be great that they will be listed on an exchange. And I've asked them that question, and they couldn't really divulge, what exchange they're going to be listed on. But they said, the exchanges that they've talked to are very fond of how they're handling their KYC, AML, and really how they're handling the funds. So they will be listed on an exchange. But to be honest with you, on an exchange, you're going to pay a premium. And I can see this thing once it gets listed, if it's worth $1 at that time, you're going to pay $1.50. There's at least going to be a 50% premium that you're going to pay on this fund. But it sucks for U.S. investors. It really does suck for them, to not be able to get in at this 95 cents. After this pre-ICO ends, it's basically going to be $1, and then a week later it'll be $1.05, and then after that it'll be $1.10, and then a week after that it'll be $1.15. But yeah, it really doesn't matter if it's listed on an exchange. And really the only way to get it, like I said, is that, there has to be an ICO participant that's willing to sell to you. If there aren't any, participants that are willing to sell, then that's just going to, shoot up the speculation of the price, and people are going to want to pay a lot of money to get this coin. And the nice thing also about this that a lot of people probably don't know is that, later on, as time goes on, they are looking to add more funds. So they could do, I don't know, I'm just making this up. They could do a top 10, mining, cryptocurrencies, or, they could do a top 10 of, a mid-market cap or a low market cap fund, those type of funds. And the nice thing about that is, unless you're an ICO participant, so basically, I'm sorry, if you are an ICO participant, you will have access to those funds first before they're basically given out to the public, before they do their ICO. And if the ICO participants buy out everything that they're looking to sell, then more than likely there isn't going to be anything left over for the average Joe to buy. So ICO participants do have some sort of benefit when they do decide to come out with new funds. You want me to interview him? Oh man, I would love to. I would love to. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I am really a big fan of this, and I've looked at other ones. I've looked at other ones that are trying to mimic exactly what these guys are trying to do. I just didn't like the fact that it wasn't autonomous. I didn't like the fact that they were trying to lure people in with a 40% dividend on a monthly basis. And I didn't like the supply, and I didn't like how they were handling the leftover tokens, that they were basically going to retain them. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Why would you retain the remaining tokens? And that's basically going to devalue, what I'm holding. But these guys are not. I mean, if they sell, let's just say 50 million, that's it. There will never, ever be anything else minted. The 50 million is what's in circulation, and that's what's going to stay in circulation. Now, the coins that they're getting, the 13% out of whatever is basically sold, they're vested for 2 years. So I think every 6 months, they're going to end up vesting a little bit of it. I think like 10% will be vested every 6 months. But, from the statement that Daniel made, he said, to be honest with you, he said, my team doesn't really have any intentions of selling this thing, because I see this thing being $100. I really do. I see 1,000% return, not, within a day or two, not within a month or 2 months. We're talking about over long term. And when I say $100, I don't mean the NAV value. I don't mean the NAV value. I mean the speculation value. Because when you're trading on an exchange, really you're speculating on the price. The company might not have any value. They might not have any assets, but it's really the speculation, that traders is causing, basically determining what the price is. So on an exchange, I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it being speculated a lot higher because people are going to want to try to grab as many of these coins as they can, especially U.S. residents that are not able to take part in this ICO. But yeah, Bit Buffalo, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I briefly did, I think it was a previous video, I briefly talked about it. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it because I really didn't have any intentions of talking about this today. But since you mentioned it, I figured I would cover it, and I have been following it. Trying to see what the actual value is. So the NAV value. Let me refresh this and see if it changed. But yeah, I mean, it was $1.10 basically was a NAV value, and people were buying it for 95 cents. So let's see, $4,137 and $4,137,191 divided by 3,765,331. So it's still, $1.09, almost $1.10, 1.09875889. We might as well just say that's $1.10. So I mean, the NAV value is already up 15 cents. So, and the thing about this is, if there are, ICO investors, and let's just say hypothetically, because really people speculate on the price on an exchange, and it can dip, but more than likely 99.99%, if the actual price on an exchange dips below the NAV value, no ICO investor is going to sell on an exchange, considering they can sell on the portal for a higher price than the actual exchange price. So I don't see it unless, somebody has fat fingers and they hit the wrong button, and, instead of them really, selling, at a high price, they sell at a low price for some apparent reason, because they weren't paying attention. That's the only reason why it's going to cost to go down. There aren't going to be any ICO investors to be like, oh, I'm going to dump this now. All they're going to do is, if they want to get rid of it, they'll just really, go to the portal, log in, and be able to connect to, or, communicate with a smart contract and sell it at a higher price. So I don't see this thing really dipping below the NAV value. I see this thing being higher above the NAV value. But let me know if you guys have any questions on that, and I'll answer them before I get off this live stream. So it's 11:49 for me, so 11 more minutes, and I will get off this live stream. But yeah, if you found that information helpful, pound that like button. Pound that like button. But Bit Buffalo, that's awesome. That is awesome that you're in this. I think you're the only one that said, hey, you know what, I bought into it, and you're definitely in the profit now. You definitely are. But yeah, I mean, anyone that's on here that's non-US, I mean, even if you're a US resident, I mean, I highly recommend researching this thing. But yeah, there are people lining up basically right now to buy this thing on an exchange. There's a lot of people that are upset that they can't take part in this at this current time, and they'll buy it up. They'll buy it up, as soon as it hits an exchange. But more than likely, I don't think anybody's going to be willing to sell. I wouldn't sell, to be honest with you. People that are getting in this, that know where the index fund is, and that believe that the cryptocurrency market is going to grow and keep growing and keep growing, they're not going to sell whatsoever. I mean, I wouldn't be selling. And I think a lot of them are going to have that same mentality. It's just really somebody that doesn't really understand how an index fund works and the possibility of where this cryptocurrency market could go, that they're going to look at it and be like, whoa, I'm up 50%. I'm going to sell. 50% is nothing. It's minimal in comparison to what this fund could actually do. So really you're buying one token, that gives you an investment in the top 20 cryptocurrencies by market cap. So you're very diversified and have an exposure to 20 of the cryptocurrencies, and you don't have to do anything except for hold that token, because everything's going to be done for you. Yes, you could take your money and allocate it to the top 20, but the time and energy that it would take for you to sit there and research and rebalance, it's too much. It's too much. And for them to only charge a 0.5% fee, I mean, like they're basically giving money to us. They're not being greedy about it at all. Honestly, I believe that they're taking money away from themselves. They could easily charge 2.5% fee on an annual basis, and we would still do well. But they're only taking a 0.5%, so they're not being greedy whatsoever. And I think people will still buy it up, even if they were taking a 3% cut on this, especially if you believe in the cryptocurrency market like I do, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Andreas, definitely do your research, please. Please do your research. But I firmly do believe in this. And you guys know that I will just never say, hey, you know what, buy this. But I firmly do believe in this, and I think it's great things to come from Daniel, the team. Especially Luke. Luke is his brother. Daniel and Luke, Matt. Let's see who the teams are. Now they do have, I think it's 3 teams that they have, or 4 teams, but they do have a bunch of advisors. But let's see the roadmap. January to April, initial research and development. April to June, development, smart contract, and autonomous trading system. I mean, so they've already developed this thing, and they've used their own money to develop it. And we all know with a lot of ICOs, nothing is developed. They're asking you for the money to develop something. You guys already have a working product. And that's the best thing about this ICO, or really, a lot of the ICOs that have a working product, yes, they have the chance to succeed. And a lot of them don't have a working product. They're basically saying, hey, fund it and we'll build it. Maybe, if we don't run off with your money. But these guys already built it. They've already spent their money building it. They've already spent their, their energy and time, back testing it left and right. So from June to July, finalize smart contract and trading protocol. July to September, test trading system, security audit, and they have done a crazy security audit. September 16th, CryptoT20 public launch. And currently we are right now, October 7th to October 14th. It's the pre-sale with a 5% discount. Now, a lot of people look at this and be like, oh, it's a 5% discount. It's 95 cents. That's pretty high in comparison to what they can get from other things. But I think that's a very reasonable price. They could put this thing at $5. And when it's listed on an exchange, if it's $5, I would buy it. Personally, I would buy it. I'm not telling you to buy it. You got to make your own decisions on that. Let's see, October 16th to November 30th. That's when the basically C20 token ICO starts. It'll start at $1, and then every week it'll increase by $5. December 1st to January 14th, that's when they're going to really do the initial 20 coin acquisition. So right now they're only in 3 coins: BTC, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And I'm glad they are holding those 3 because those are the 3 dominating ones. I mean, BTC is up like crazy. And so is really Ether, $340. Litecoin is up a good amount. So that's why the fund has actually grown by 15 cents. So December 1st is really when they're going to start, taking the funds that they already have and allocating it to the top 20 in cryptocurrencies, and then doing ongoing marketing and investor relations. And then the first rebalancing happens. And that's, like I said, they'll take the, what they have now and kind of rebalance it to the top 20. January 14th, public audit of ICO funds. So they'll do the audit on ICO funds. And then on January of 2018, public launch on an exchange. So on January 15th, and actually he did say, that was just kind of a timeline. He said, but more likely before January 15th, we'll be listed on an exchange. He was like, I didn't want to say, we'll be listed on an exchange, in November, end of November, and then it doesn't happen. He said that was kind of a far-fetched goal that we set, but he's like, it'll be listed before January 15th. I'm trying to think what else about this team. But yeah, there's a couple of ICO alert podcasts. Box Mining did a video on it. But yeah, I mean, I found out about this. It was like late September, when I was just researching something and reading something. Somebody asked a question to RIA Token about, how do you differ from, how are you different from CryptoT20? And I was like, CryptoT20, what is CryptoT20? And then I researched it and I was like, whoa. I mean, it piqued a big interest, initially when I read it. And then I read it again, it piqued even more of an interest. And I read it again and I was like, man, this is that needle in a haystack. This is what's separating, all cryptocurrencies, considering they already have this thing built and, their back testing has shown how profitable it can be. Now, it all depends on the overall market cap. Like I said, if the overall market cap declines, of course, this fund is going to decline. But yeah, there's no broker fees, no exit fees, no minimum investment, and full control over your assets. Okay, so that's one thing I forgot to cover. So somebody asked me, when do I get my token? So if you're an ICO participant, I think it's October 14th. 2 days before the actual ICO launch, you'll get your tokens, and they'll send it to your, whatever, Ether address or ERC. Compatible address that you do have. So basically any ICO participants are going to get their tokens before the main ICO is. But yeah, great things. A lot of good things should happen out of this team, considering it's already growing. Yeah, Andreas. Like I said, I mean, read it a couple times, and the more that you read it, the more it's going to pique your interest. And like I said, I read it once and I was like, wow, this is great. I read it again. I was like, whoa. I read it again. I was like, all right, I'm ready to sell my house. I read it again. I was like, I think I'm going to sell my kids and invest in this. I wouldn't do that, just hypothetically speaking. But I was like, this has piqued my interest, and this is probably, in my opinion, the best investment on an ICO at an early that you can get in at, because like I said, more than likely it's going to sell at a premium. And I've seen, index funds sell at a premium on the traditional financial market in comparison to the NAV, the net asset value that they're holding. Yeah, it'll definitely survive as long as the cryptocurrency market survives. So, Andreas, if you believe the cryptocurrency market is going to survive, which I'm sure you do, that's kind of a stupid question for me to ask you. As long as you believe in that, it's going to survive. And it will probably be, that needle in a haystack, one out of, 1,000 ICOs that does survive, because it's not something that they're just building. They already have it built, and it's an index fund that's investing in the underlying assets. So, some of these cryptocurrencies, let's just say hypothetically, I don't know what's in the top 20 now. Let's look at that real quick, and then I do have to end this live stream. Oni, what is up, brother? How to invest when in US. I really like this project. Dude, I love this project too, man. I really do. And, it's almost like, I've said before, never fall in love with an ICO or a cryptocurrency. But when you're having that exposure to a bunch of cryptocurrencies, yeah, it's like, it's love at first sight. It's like when I first met my wife. All right, so let's see. I mean, they are going to be excluding, BitConnect. They're going to be excluding a couple things out of here. But let's just say hypothetically, some of these, top 20 coins decide to die off, like NIM, IOTA, Ethereum Classic. Let's just say they die off, and they fall out of the top 20. When they do the rebalancing on a weekly basis, they're selling the asset off. Once it drops out of the top 20, that asset is sold off, and then the asset is automatically, rebalanced or dispersed amongst the top 20. And then another question that somebody asked, which I was very fond of how they responded to it. They said, if somebody sells on the NAV, what do you do with your coins? What do you do with the C20 tokens? And they said, no, we don't hold C20 tokens. We will never hold C20 tokens. We will sell it instantly, at market price, and we will allocate that money to the top 20. So I like the fact that, if you do sell, on their portal, that they're not going to retain those tokens whatsoever. They're going to sell it instantly and allocate it, to the top 20 coins. Yeah, dude. Oni, that's exactly my thought. It's a crypto index. Say no more. I mean, as soon as I read it, I was like, this is it. This is the one. Yeah. I need to find a way in. Yeah, dude. It's tough being in the US. Don't let her hear. Don't let my wife hear that. Yeah, I don't think she watches this live stream. She doesn't. But no. But no, it's seriously the only, cryptocurrency ICO that I was like, wow, like it seriously gave me that wow factor. And, and when something really, piques your interest, you really start heavily researching it. And man, I read up so much about this and read the white paper over and over again. There really isn't any other ICO where I took the time out to do that. And I really don't have too much time in my day to be able to do this. But I mean, as I'm driving my kids to school and picking them up from school, I'm listening to the podcast. I'm listening to anything where Daniel is doing an interview. But, join their Slack, and, before you ask any questions, just scroll up and start reading some of their responses, because they do get the same questions asked over and over and over and over again. And they answer them as though it's the first time that they're being asked that question. And I was just like, man, I'm like, you were asked this question like 10 times and over again. You keep having to repeat yourself, even though it's in plain text, on the website, it's in plain text, on the white paper. But I mean, people aren't really taking the time out to read it, and that's just really wasting their time. So I highly recommend joining their Slack and just do as much reading as you can. as much reading as you can before you ask, you know, that one important question. But yeah, so it's 12:02. I do appreciate you guys for joining. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to be on Slack just for a little bit. And then I do have a lot of things that I need to do. So I want to thank you guys for joining. I hope you found that helpful. And if you did, pound that like button. And, you know, if you're part of our Slack, let me know what you guys think of CryptoT20. And, you know, if you get involved, let me know too, because I think it's really a great opportunity. But until Monday, this is Crypto Trader and CryptoTraders Room, one of the only places where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in cryptocurrencies. Thank you guys for joining. I do appreciate it. Nothing but the utmost respect, peace and love, and happiness. Enjoy your day, evening, your night, whatever it might be in your time zone. We'll talk soon. Take care, guys.